Deep within the rugged mountains of southern Jordan lies a truly magical place. It is the ancient city of Petra. Many people have heard of it. They call it the Rose-Red City, half as old as time. This description perfectly captures its beauty and its mystery. For centuries, Petra was hidden from most of the world. It was a secret known only to the local Bedouin people who lived nearby. Its discovery by the West was like finding a lost treasure. The city is famous for its incredible buildings. These are not built with bricks, but carved directly into the colorful sandstone cliffs. Petra is located in a remote desert valley. To reach the main part of the city, you must walk through a narrow gorge. This gorge is called the Siq. It twists and turns for over a kilometer. The cliffs on either side are very high, sometimes reaching up to 80 meters. Walking through the Siq is an amazing experience. The silence, broken only by your footsteps, builds a sense of anticipation. Then, as you near the end, you get your first glimpse of Petra's most famous monument. This dramatic entrance makes Petra feel even more special and secluded from the outside world. The nickname Rose City comes from the color of the stone. The sandstone cliffs in Petra have beautiful shades of red, pink, orange, and yellow. These colors swirl together in amazing patterns. The way the light hits the rock changes its appearance throughout the day. In the morning, the stone might look soft pink. At sunset, it can glow a deep, fiery red. This ever-changing beauty is one of the reasons why people fall in love with Petra. It is like nature's own artwork on a massive scale. The Nabataeans chose this beautiful rock for their capital. Visiting Petra feels like stepping into another world, a world from long ago. It is a place that sparks the imagination. You can easily picture the ancient Nabataeans living and trading here. The city's grand monuments and hidden tombs tell stories of a rich past. In 1985, Petra was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This means it is recognized as a place of great importance to all humanity. It is a site that needs to be protected. Every year, people from all over come to witness its wonder. It truly is a jewel of the ancient world, carefully preserved in the desert. The story of Petra is the story of the Nabataeans. These were the clever people who built this magnificent city. The Nabataeans were originally a nomadic Arab tribe. They wandered the deserts of Arabia and the Levant. They were used to the harsh conditions of desert life. Around the 4th century BC, they began to settle in the area around Petra. They chose this location because it was well protected. It also had sources of water, which are very important in the desert. They were skilled at finding and managing this precious resource. The Nabataeans were known for many skills. They were excellent traders. They understood the desert routes better than anyone. This allowed them to control important trade. They were also amazing engineers and architects. We can see this in the incredible structures they carved from rock. Their ability to create a thriving city in such a difficult environment shows their cleverness. They adapted to the desert and made it their home. They also developed their own unique culture and writing system. They were truly masters of their domain, a strong and resourceful people. The Nabataean Kingdom grew and flourished for several centuries. Its peak was probably from around the 1st century BC to the 1st century AD. During this time, Petra was its magnificent capital city. The kingdom stretched from modern-day Syria in the north down to the Hejaz in Saudi Arabia. It was a significant power in the region. The Nabataeans managed to stay independent for a long time. They were skilled diplomats as well as warriors when needed. Their wealth came mainly from trade, which they controlled with great expertise. This wealth allowed them to build their impressive city. Nabataean culture was a mix of Arabian traditions and influences from neighboring civilizations. They worshipped their own gods and goddesses. The main god was Dushara, often associated with mountains. Al-Uzza, a powerful goddess, was also very important. We see their symbols and representations in Petra. The Nabataeans had their own Aramaic-derived script, which can be found on inscriptions. They seem to have been a relatively tolerant people. Their society was well organized. They left behind a legacy of ingenuity and artistry that still impresses us today. Their ability to thrive showed their deep understanding of their environment. Petra's location was key to its success and wealth. It was situated at a vital crossroads of ancient trade routes. These routes connected Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean world. Caravans carrying valuable goods passed through this region. The Nabataeans, with their knowledge of the desert, were perfectly placed to control this trade. They understood the challenges of desert travel. They knew where to find water and safe resting places. This made Petra an important stopping point for traders. It was a safe haven in a difficult land. Many different types of valuable goods were traded through Petra. Perhaps the most famous were frankincense and myrrh. These were aromatic resins from southern Arabia. They were highly prized in the ancient world for religious ceremonies and perfumes. Spices from India and silk from China also passed through. Bitumen, a type of asphalt from the Dead Sea, was another important commodity. The Nabataeans managed the flow of these goods. They ensured the safety of the caravans that traveled through their territory. This control was the source of their great prosperity and influence in the region. The Nabataeans became rich by managing this trade. They charged taxes and customs duties on the goods that passed through Petra. They also provided services to the traveling merchants. This included protection for the caravans from desert raiders. They offered food, water, and places for the traders to rest. This system was very effective. It brought a lot of wealth into the city. This wealth was then used to build the magnificent tombs and temples that we see today. The Nabataeans were not just traders, they were skilled business people who built a thriving economy. Because of this trade, Petra became a bustling cosmopolitan city. People from many different lands came to Petra. They brought their cultures, languages, and ideas with them. You can imagine the busy markets filled with exotic goods. Camels laden with treasures were to fill the city. There were special areas called caravanserai where traders could stay with their animals. This made Petra a vibrant and diverse place. It was a true meeting point of civilizations. The Nabataeans created more than just a city. They created an international hub of commerce and culture. When people think of Petra, one image often comes to mind. It is Al-Khazne, also known as the Treasury. This is perhaps the most famous and most photographed monument in Petra. Its Arabic name, Al-Khazna, means the Treasury. This name comes from local Bedouin legends. They believed that pirates or pharaohs hid their treasure in an urn at the top of the facade. You can even see bullet marks on the urn. People shot at it, hoping to break it open and release the gold. Of course, the urn is made of solid sandstone. The treasury's facade is truly breathtaking. It is about 40 meters high and 30 meters wide. What makes it so special is that it is not built, but carved. It was chiseled directly out of the face of a massive sandstone cliff. The skill of the Nabataean craftsmen was incredible. The style of the facade is Hellenistic, meaning it was influenced by Greek architecture. You can see columns, capitals, and intricate decorations. It is a stunning example of human artistry. The way it suddenly appears at the end of the Sikh is a moment of pure magic for every visitor. Despite its popular name, Al-Khazne was not actually a treasury. Most scholars now believe it was a royal tomb. It was likely built for one of the great Nabataean kings. Perhaps it was for King Aretas IV, who ruled during Petra's golden age in the 1st century AD. The monument's grandeur certainly suggests it was for someone very important. Inside, the rooms are quite plain compared to the elaborate exterior. This is typical of Nabataean tombs. The focus was on the magnificent facade, which served as a memorial to the person buried within. The details of the carvings on the treasury are fascinating. They show a mix of Nabataean and classical influences. There are figures of gods and goddesses. Some might be Isis, the Egyptian goddess, or Tyche, the Greek goddess of fortune. Mythical creatures like eagles and Amazons are also depicted. The central figure on the upper level is thought to be a Nabataean goddess, possibly Al-Uzza. Every element was carefully planned and executed. The precision and beauty of the work, done so long ago, are truly remarkable. It shows the Nabataeans' mastery of stone carving. While the treasury is Petra's most famous monument, it is not the largest. That honor goes to Ad-Dair, also known as the monastery. This massive structure is hidden high up in the hills of Petra. To reach it, you have to make a long climb. It involves ascending about 800 steps carved into the rock. The path winds its way up the mountainside. It can be a challenging walk, especially in the heat, but the effort is well worth it. The views along the way are spectacular, and the monastery itself is an unforgettable sight. Ad-Dair is even bigger than the treasury. It measures about 50 meters wide and 45 meters high. Like the treasury, it is carved directly into the sandstone cliff. The Nabataean builders used the natural rock face to create this impressive monument. Its design is similar in style to the treasury. It has columns and a large central doorway. However, its decoration is simpler, less ornate. This gives it a feeling of grand, powerful simplicity. The sheer scale of the monastery is overwhelming. It makes you feel very small standing in front of it. The original purpose of Ad-Dair is still debated by scholars. It was probably built in the 1st century AD. Many believe it was a temple dedicated to one of the Nabataean gods. Perhaps it was for Obodas I, a Nabataean king who was later deified. The large, flat area in front of the monastery suggests it was used for gatherings or religious ceremonies. Later, during the Byzantine period, the building was likely used as a Christian chapel. This is where it gets its name, monastery. Crosses were found carved into the inner walls, indicating this later use. The journey to Ad-Dair is part of its special appeal. As you climb higher, you leave the main city area behind. You feel a sense of peace and solitude. The path offers stunning views across the Petra mountains and valleys. When you finally reach the top and see the monastery, it is a breathtaking moment. It stands in a wide, open space surrounded by dramatic cliffs. Many people say it is their favorite monument in Petra. Its remote location and its immense size give it a unique and powerful atmosphere. It feels like a truly sacred place. Section 6. Living among the rocks, homes and tombs of Petra. Petra was much more than just the treasury and the monastery. It was a large, bustling city where thousands of people lived and worked. When we visit Petra, we see the grand monuments. But it is important to remember that ordinary people had their homes here too. The city spread out through the valleys and up the hillsides. Archaeologists are still discovering new things about how the Nabataeans lived their daily lives. It was a complex urban center, carefully planned and managed. The city had different districts for different purposes. The people of Petra lived in various types of dwellings. Some, especially the wealthy, had homes that were partly carved into the rock. These rock-cut houses often had several rooms. Other homes were freestanding buildings made from stone blocks. Like any city, there were probably richer and poorer areas. The main parts of the city were along the colonnaded street. This was like the city centre. Here you would find shops, public buildings and perhaps more substantial houses. It must have been a lively place full of activity and the sounds of urban life. Tombs are a very prominent feature of Petra. The Nabataeans clearly placed great importance on the afterlife. They built many tombs, from simple graves to incredibly elaborate structures. The so-called Street of Facades is a row of impressive tomb fronts. These are carved into the cliffs near the main entrance to the city. Further on, you find the royal tombs. These are a group of large and ornate tombs, possibly for Nabataean royalty. They have names like the Urn Tomb, the Silk Tomb, and the Corinthian Tomb. Their colourful sandstone and grand designs are spectacular. Besides homes and tombs, Petra had many public buildings. There was a large theatre carved into the hillside. It could seat several thousand people. This suggests that public performances and gatherings were important. A long colonnaded street ran through the heart of the city. This was likely the main commercial and civic area. Temples dedicated to Nabataean gods were also central to city life. The remains of the great temple complex show how grand these structures were. All these elements paint a picture of a sophisticated and well-developed urban society. Petra was truly a city carved from stone. Section 7. Water in the sand. Petra's clever pipes and channels. One of the most amazing things about Petra is how the Nabataeans managed water. Petra is located in a very dry desert region. Rainfall is scarce and unpredictable. Yet the Nabataeans were able to support a large population in this harsh environment. They did this through their incredible understanding of water engineering. Water was the lifeblood of the city. Without their clever water systems, Petra could not have existed, let alone flourished as a major trading hub. Their skill in harnessing water was essential to their survival and success. The Nabataeans were masters at collecting and storing every precious drop of rainwater. They built a complex system of dams, cisterns, and reservoirs. Dams were constructed across wadis, which are dry riverbeds. These dams would trap the flash floods that sometimes occur in the desert. The water would then be channeled into large underground cisterns. These cisterns were often carved into the rock and plastered to make them waterproof. They could store vast amounts of water. This ensured a supply even during long dry periods. It was a very efficient way to manage a scarce resource. To bring water into the city and distribute it, the Nabataeans created an extensive network of channels and pipes. Many of these channels were carved directly into the sandstone cliffs. You can still see them today as you walk through the Seek and other parts of Petra. They also used terracotta pipes similar to those used by the Romans. These pipes carried fresh water from springs and cisterns to different parts of the city. The system was carefully designed to maintain a steady flow. It reached public fountains, bathhouses, and probably even some private homes. This sophisticated water management system was crucial for life in Petra. It not only provided drinking water for the inhabitants and their animals, it also allowed them to cultivate gardens and grow some crops. Imagine how surprising it must have been for desert travelers to find a city with fountains and green spaces. This abundance of water in such an arid land would have seemed like a miracle. It was a testament to the ingenuity and hard work of the Nabataean people. Their ability to control water transformed Petra into an oasis in the desert. Section 8. Lost to the world, then found again. For centuries, Petra thrived as a rich and powerful city. However, like all great empires and cities, its fortunes eventually began to change. One major factor was the shift in trade routes. Around the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, new sea routes to the east were developed. These routes bypassed Petra. This meant that the overland caravans, which were Petra's main source of income, became less important. The city's wealth started to decline. In 106 AD, the Nabataean Kingdom was annexed by the Roman Empire. Petra became part of the Roman province of Arabia. Under Roman rule, Petra continued to be an important regional center for some time. Some new buildings were constructed in the Roman style, however. The city never regained its former glory as a major international trading hub. A series of devastating earthquakes in the 4th and 6th centuries AD caused significant damage to Petra's structures. Many buildings were destroyed or badly weakened. The city became more difficult to inhabit. Gradually, over the following centuries, Petra was abandoned by most of its population. It slowly faded into obscurity, its magnificent rock-cut monuments left to the desert winds. For hundreds of years, Petra was effectively a lost city to the Western world. Its location was forgotten. It became a place of legend, known only to the local Bedouin tribes who lived in the area. They knew of the ancient ruins and sometimes used the caves and tombs for shelter. They kept the secret of Petra well guarded. They were wary of outsiders and protected the site from intruders. It was as if the city was sleeping, waiting to be rediscovered. This long period of isolation helped to preserve Petra in a remarkable state. The rediscovery of Petra by the Western world happened in 1812. A young Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt was traveling in the Middle East. He was a scholar of Arabic language and culture. He often traveled in disguise as an Arab. While in the region near Petra, he heard rumors from local people. They spoke of incredible ancient ruins hidden in a remote mountain valley. Burckhardt was intrigued. He convinced a local guide to take him to this secret place. He said he wanted to make a sacrifice at the tomb of Aaron, which was believed to be nearby. This was his clever way to gain access to the lost city. Section 9, Petra Today, a treasure for all time. Johann Ludwig Burckhardt's visit in 1812 brought Petra back to the attention of the world. His accounts and sketches sparked great interest in Europe and America. Soon other explorers, artists and archaeologists began to visit. They were amazed by what they found. The city carved from rock was unlike anything they had ever seen. Today, Petra is one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. In 2007, it was voted as one of the new 7 wonders of the world. This shows how much people everywhere admire its beauty and history. It is Jordan's most popular tourist attraction. Archaeological work in Petra is still ongoing. Even after 2 centuries of study, the city continues to reveal its secrets. Excavations uncover new buildings, tombs and artifacts. Researchers are learning more about the Nabataean people, their daily lives, their religion and their art. Every discovery helps us to piece together a more complete picture of this fascinating civilization. there is still so much to learn. For example, only a small percentage of the city has been fully excavated. Many more wonders may still be hidden beneath the sands or within the rocks. Protecting Petra for future generations is a major challenge. The site is vast and its monuments are exposed to the elements. Wind, rain and salt erosion can damage the soft sandstone. The large number of tourists, while important for the local economy, can also put pressure on the site. There are ongoing efforts to manage tourism sustainably. Conservation projects work to stabilize and preserve the rock-cut structures. It is a delicate balance. We need to ensure that people can continue to experience Petra's magic, while also safeguarding its fragile beauty. Petra's legacy is truly enduring. It stands as a powerful testament to human ingenuity and creativity. The Nabataeans were able to build a magnificent city in a challenging environment. They left behind a unique artistic and architectural heritage. When we visit Petra, we connect with the distant past. We marvel at the skill of the ancient craftsmen. We feel a sense of wonder at the scale and beauty of their creations. Petra is more than just a collection of old stones. It is a special place that touches the hearts and minds of all who see it. It is a treasure for all time.